iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome in here tonight, race fans, to sunny California. It's the Irwindale Speedway here tonight for the Stand RC Speedway 100 for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series presented by the Upstate Racing League. After a week off, these drivers are back here in competition, ready to see which 26 drivers are ready to go racing here tonight in sunny California. To bring you all the racing action, my name is Roger Muth, and alongside me tonight, Kelly Daw. Kelly, welcome to the sunny state of California, where these drivers here tonight will have themselves a handful, because this track will be slick and slidey tonight.
Yeah, we've already seen just in the LCQ race that this track is going to be very difficult to handle. There's drivers all over the place trying to keep their cars pointed in the straight line, and it's also going to be a bit of an interesting track because it's going to be a bit more of an outside line dominant track compared to pretty much every other race on this calendar where you want to be on the inside.
So the outside lane may be dominant. Look for a couple slip and slides where you're able to go down to the bottom side of the speedway here tonight and slide on up for a little bit of a slide job. We're going to be able to see those here tonight. We did just finish up, though, a last chance qualifier and take a quick look at that last chance qualifier. See if your driver was able to make it into the night. Al Smith Jr. will advance into the night along with Matt McLean, Brett Bartels, and along with Ellie Musgrave. Those four drivers will tag the back of the field here tonight. Brian Rogers Jr. along with Joshua Buckley, Rob Higgins, Andy Lambert, and Justin Coachman and EJ O'Rourke. Unfortunately, will have to go home here tonight. Those drivers did not make the cut bubble here, so those drivers will tag on to the back. But I'm excited,
though, Roger.
I was just about to say, there is also the two highest points drivers that did not make it. They will tag the back also, and unfortunately, we will have to wait to see which one of the which drivers do get those two.
It is actually going to end up being Rogers and Buckley. It just kind of works out that they're the highest points and ended up finishing 5th and 6th in the LCQ.
Absolute perfect. Look at that. Sometimes it just works out like that. Coming into the night, though, the Arts Barbershop point standings do look like this. Guillaume Fortin does continue to hold the points lead after last week. It's a 10-point lead over Bill Martin. Then it's Justin Fuller back there in third, and Matthew Barkhouse also tied for that third position. And Stephen Rochford is rounding out the top 5 unofficially in those points standings coming into the night. But it already looks like we're just about time to get things kicked off here tonight at the Irwindale Speedway. It's the Stand RC Speedway night here tonight. It's the remote control car racing track located in Gavesfort, New York, racing Thursday nights, May through October. Make sure you check out the Stand RC Speedway because they have some big plans coming up this season. Just like these drivers have some big plans to put on a show for your race fans. So let's head down trackside here tonight and get your starting lineup here tonight for the 100-lap feature event. Starting on the front row here tonight, he calls himself Mr. Confusion. It'll be the number 18 of A.J. Hamill. Starting on the outside of him, car number 1 out of Tampa, Florida, Dalton Williamson. Matt Eddy in car number 88 will roll from the 3rd position here tonight, while the Rev Racing number 75 of Mike Alexander will go 4th. The Austin Designs number 5 of Scott Austin will start back in 5th, while Rodney Hontoon in car number 4 will go from 6th. 7th will be the Empire Racing number 98 Ohio, Chris Stump. 8th will go to Justin McDuff in car number 20. Vernon Woodard in car number 73 will go 9th, and rounding out the top 10, that is Joe Schaefer Jr. in car number 6.
Stephen Rochert's going to roll off in row number 6 in 11th, with Bill Martin, Dr. Noise, to his outside in 12th. Matthew Barco is going to be starting off in 13th, and Guillaume Fortin, our last driver of the handicap, will be rolling off in 14th. Casey Bietti, our fastest qualifier, he'll be starting in 15th, with Brett Hahn to his outside in 16th. Brian Hacker is going to be on the inside of row number 9, and the 2 of Michael Trevarthen, is going to be on his outside. Gary Eschen will be starting in 19th, and Justin Rigsby will be the last qualifier and the last driver on the top 20.
Starting back into the 21st spot, it'll be the Stand RC Speedway number 96 of Al Smith Jr., Matt McLean in car number 88 back in 22nd. 23rd then tonight on the call will be Brett Bartels, Ellie Musgrave back in 24th, Brian Rogers Jr., and Joshua Buckley. The alternates back there of Rob Higgins, Andy Lambert, Coachman, and O'Rourke will not make their call to the grid, but we are ready. That is your starting lineup here tonight for 100 laps here in the Stand RC Speedway 100 for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series. There you see them lined up 2x2, come into the Hanson Starter Shop as we will get ready here tonight at Irwindale. It'll be A.J. Hamill, Dalton Williamson, as they will be the first 2 to fire off here. The green flag is up. We're racing here tonight at Irwindale.
Completely even down into turn number 1 there. That outside line has a bit more banking, and AJ Hamill trying to squeeze all the way up into that banking. Caution flag is immediately going to fly. Looks like it's going to involve the 96 Val Smith Jr. He's off in the grass in turn 1.
Al Smith Jr. having to miss the last race that we had here on Wednesday night. Has been having computer issues up home there in South Glens Falls, New York. He is here tonight, and he will now bring out that first caution flag, as Kelly alluded to, as he was off the speedway. What happened to Smith? Let's watch it back here. Did he get tagged from the 2B? Brett Bartels there, it looks like, down into 1. And with that car going sideways, the caution flag will come out for the first time here. Take a look here, and right on board there you see the contact, and great shot brought to us by our friends over at Xander Sign Group off the back of the 96 of Al Smith Jr. So that's the first caution flag of the night, brought out on lap number 1. So that'll slow the pace, but that will also now give Dalton Williamson the top spot here.
Yeah, Williamson was scored just ahead of A.J. Hamill, so they're basically going to swap around the front row. That's going to put Williamson to the inside and Hamill to the outside, and we know the outside line is the line you want to be at, but Williamson is going to have the advantage this time as he's going to be in control of the field. On the initial restart, we had to wait for that green flag. However, Williamson now, as soon as that pace car is down and they reach their restart zone, he can fire.
And remember, he is a rookie, so he is one of those Stand RC Speedway Rookie of the Year contenders. A couple of them through the field here tonight. Dalton Williamson, Stephen Rochford, a one-time winner on the tour this season. Brett Hahn, Michael Trevarthen, Gary Eschen, along with Rob Higgins and Coachman. Remember, Rob Higgins and Coachman, though, were the alternates here tonight. They did not have to make the call, or they did not make the call to the grid, as everybody else was geared up, ready to go, and made their cars presented on the call here tonight. So, ready to go back racing, though, as the caution lights for the Confusion Performance caution lights have been turned out all around the speedway. We come back into the Hanson Starter Shop restart zone here this time, as we did not get an official green flag lap in, but we will go with 5 laps in the books here to be Dalton Williamson, A.J. Hamill.
Now, Williamson is going to be in control of the field. He does have to wait for our restart zone, though, and it is coming up. Where is Williamson going to fire? And he's going to immediately take off down in towards the front straightaway, and that is going to be big trouble for A.J. Hamill. And Mike Alexander is actually going to get side-by-side with him going into turn number 1.
So Alexander down on the bottom side of the speedway. We'll see if he can make it work. We saw Dalton Williamson be able to take the race lead from the outside. Here goes Alexander. He'll go way down low, go catfishing right down around the yellow side of the speedway, and he will not be able to slide up in front of A.J. Hamill. Dalton Williamson will lead lap number 1. Mike Alexander did turn the quickest lap of the race, and now Gary Eschen, actually a little bit deeper into the field, will turn the fastest lap. Front 3 now goes single file. Dalton Williamson, A.J. Hamill, and Mike Alexander.
Yeah, if you're wanting to make a pass on the inside, that's pretty much what you have to do. Go all the way to the bottom, because where that dashed line is, that's where the banking really increases. So you're going to see drivers kind of hanging around along that line, and anyone trying to make a pass is going to send it all the way to the grass and try to wash up in front of the other driver.
One driver down around the bottom. That is Bill Martin. And now he'll make contact with Joe Schaefer Jr. Schaefer Jr. going to go spinning around. The caution lights are on. Or no, they're not right now. It's the Epic Media number 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. down around the bottom side of the speedway. We stay green flag racing. Race control going to leave it out there. So green flag will continue to stay here, but Joe Schaefer Jr. and Bill Martin making contact, spinning that 6 machine.
And that cost both of them, because Bill Martin was in 12th at the beginning of that lap. He's down all the way to 18th now and still stuck on that bottom side. He cannot get the speed coming off of the corners as he's trying to... Oh, there's a bit of contact. The 11 goes sideways. That's Brian Hacker. He's somehow going to save it in turn number 4.
The Hack Daddy saves it. And oh, now more contact. That was the 2B of Bartels coming by the 11 of Brian Hacker. They sideswiped each other. Hacker falling back there. Now Hacker is back into the 24th position. As, boy, he was up inside the top 15, and now it's going to be a long road to hoe for car number 11, who the last time we were out on the track, he was one of the drivers that, well, he would put himself in the spot to win, just was not quite able to, as, well, that late race green-white checker got the best of him.
Yeah, just some bad luck finding Joe Schaefer Jr. this season. Hopefully he'll be able to turn it around for the tail end of the season, but right now he's just hoping for a quick caution, especially as Dalton Williamson is still chasing him down, and I'm sure Joe Schaefer Jr. does not want to go a lap down, but if he can keep finding the speed, he might be able to stay ahead of that one car.
Just a straightaway gap between Dalton Williamson and Joe Schaefer Jr. right now. It is still Williamson, Hamill, and Alexander, Matt Eddy, and then Scott Austin, your top 5 here. This time by, we're complete lap number 14. You see all 3 of your leaders running 3 different lines through turns 3 and 4. Williamson was the highest, then it was Hamill and Alexander all scattered through that turn, as now in turn 1, they kind of run a very similar line that time, as you got to go a little bit farther back into the field to find a battle. That is Brett Hahn. He is down in the 7-11 entry there. You see him trying to just wrap the bottom very nice and easy. But that outside lane, you'll see how the momentum just rolls off the top side.
Yeah, they're able to just carry so much more speed on that top side where the banking is, that it just makes that bottom lane not really a lane that you can run lap after lap. It's pretty much only going to be good for making passes. Now we're taking a look at Mike Alexander. He's been taking some peeks to the inside of A.J. Hamill. He's closing up to that 18 car, so he may have an opportunity to make a move. So watch to see if that 75 car maybe makes a dive down to the bottom side.
That's a past champion here with the Upstate Racing League, so he knows when's the time to push it. And, well, when he's just got to back off just a little bit here. Right now, you see those top 3. They are starting to pull away just a little bit here from that 4th place machine of Matt Eddy, who's sitting there. There goes that 75, taking another peek down to the inside on the 18. Not going to quite be able to do it out of 4, so now he goes back down to the bottom here again. Not as far as we saw him on the initial restart of back to green flag racing, but he's still running down there right around the white line now. Now he moves up about a half a car length to see if he can get a better run.
Yeah, he's just not going to be able to get the speed off of the corners with a line like that. And with there not being a gap between the 1 and the 18, there's not really anywhere for Mike Alexander to try to maybe send it to the inside of that 18 car. So he's going to have to try to maybe pick his spot. He's been just exploring the track, exploring the lines at this point, and he's just got to find a spot where he can make it around that 18, because it looks like Alexander's a little bit faster than these guys in front of him.
And somebody that is fast is that 7-11 entry of Brett Hahn. He has picked up 7 spots since we went back green flag racing, and he's worked himself inside the top 10. We talked about how the outside lane, the momentum is rolling. And it is, but there's so many cars up there, and if one driver kind of checks up, then you're not able to get, back onto the throttle. So with Brett Hahn just kind of wrapping the bottoms, like Casey Bietti's also trying to do the same thing, and it's working for both of them. They are in the positive category on moving towards the front of the field here tonight. And there you see Brett Hahn right back down to the bottom side. Last time we checked on Brett, he was battling with the 13G of Guillaume Fortin, and Guillaume is now 2 cars behind him on the outside row.
Yeah, like you're saying, that outside line, it may be faster, but when you're in the thick of it in the field, they're just checking up a little bit, and that's allowing Brett Hahn to just wrap that bottom side. But you got to wonder what that's doing to his tires, because there is no banking down there, especially when he gets all the way down onto the apron. He is just completely flat tracking it.
Right on board here with Brett. Let's see what he does down here in 3 and 4. He goes right back down there, very gingerly on the throttle. You can see not a lot of movement in that wheel either. So just trying to be very ginger down there, tiptoeing, if you will, down around the bottom side of the speedway. AJ Hamill taking a bit to the inside on Dalton Williamson. Not going to be able to do it. That car got a little tight there off the corner. This time by to be 25 laps in the books. It's still Williamson, Hamill, Alexander, and look at Brett Hahn. He is now knocking on the doorstep to the top 5.
But as he gets further and further up this field, it's going to be harder for him to make these moves to the inside, because they are stringing out a little bit up here, and that's allowing these guys to carry that speed coming off of the corner. So it's going to be a little bit harder for Brett Hahn. However, he is going to get around Rodney Huntoon there. Now he's going to be challenging Scott Austin, who has got some clear track in front of him.
Now, if you're Brett Hahn here, put your racing helmet on, Kelly. If you're Brett and you get around the 5 car here on the inside, there is a gap to the outside lane. Do you take that time then to go to the outside and try to cool those tires off?
I would definitely run that outside lane if I get that opportunity, just because it is a little bit faster lap after lap. He's only faster on the bottom in relative to the cars that have been all bunched up. As you see right now, he's not actually getting around Scott Austin like he was getting around these other cars, so he does want to be on the high side. He's just been using that bottom side to make the moves.
He's also had the 2B there, Brett Bartels, down on the bottom side, so wasn't quite able to go to the bottom in 3 and 4, where we've seen him right down around the yellow line. So he sticks up to the top side there, kind of nestles himself in. Now he jets down to the bottom. There goes Chris Stump also. He'll try to follow the 7-Eleven down around the bottom side. Brett Hahn, opportunity not quite clear. Let's see what he does down here in 1 and 2. He'll work all that about the middle lane here tonight at the Irwindale Speedway, because there's definitely 3 grooves of racing as this track is very wide. Brett going to go back down to the bottom here in 3 and 4. Just wrap the bottom side of the speedway. Has the chance. He will clear the 5 of Scott Austin. Put Brett Hahn now in P number 5.
He is rolling turn 3 and 4 very well on that bottom side, carrying a ton of speed through it and chopping up in front of the cars on the high side before they can really roll off the corner. So some great driving from Hahn, but now he's got a little bit of a gap in front of him to the next car. Let's see if he can close that gap.
Chris Stump sideways out of turn 4. He was one of those drivers that has now started to try to use that line that Brett Hahn was trying to do, and he got himself loosed and crossed up. He'll lose about 3, 4, 5 positions now, as there you see the 2B entry. That is Brett Bartels. He picked up a brand new truck this week, hoping that it would bring his car some good luck, but he's down a lap and now put into a 3-wide situation. There goes the number 39, Bill Martin, to the outside. That's the 88 also there of Matt McLean. They were 3-wide racing. Bartel's going to back out of that one, and he'll just roll right down to the bottom side.
Now that 39 machine of Bill Martin, he's going to be able to get in front of Matt McLean. As you saw a few laps ago, Bill Martin got into Joe Schaefer Jr., and that cost him a ton of time, but now he's slowly making his way a little bit further up and using that inside lane that we've seen a few other drivers like Brett Hahn use.
And Brett's back on the attack here, because now he's trying to get to the inside of the Eddie Performance Solutions number 88. They swapped spots that time down in 3, and then they went right back. Matt Eddy took it back going into 1. Let's see what Brett does. Well, right what we thought, right back down around the bottom in turn number 3 at the line. It'll be Brett Hahn, but Matt Eddy keeps his foot in it and powers back around. Let's see, this battle is going to get good here for 4th.
Eddie not quite getting the speed off of turn number 2. That's going to give an opportunity for Brett Hahn as he goes all the way to the bottom again. Not quite, maybe just going to clear, but no, the 88 going to be able to fight back and prevent Brett Hahn from sliding up in front of him. So this battle is going to continue. That 88 of Eddie, he has to get a good run off of turn 2 and really doesn't that time. He was actually a little bit further back, and we see just in front of Mike Alexander also going to be trying this opportunity to go to the bottom side.
Brett Hahn now able to clear the number 88 of Matt Eddy, so now he can go to the top side, and maybe save a little tire. Maybe he can run down those top 3 drivers, because he is definitely the driver that has the quickest car here so far tonight. He has the quickest lap, and he has now picked up 12th spot. Mike Alexander is, well, he was there to the inside of that 80 or that 18, just was not quite able to clear him.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Alexander's able to keep the speed off the corner like Brett Hahn does on the bottom side there. So Brett Hahn isn't getting the positions right out of the way. He's been able to kind of get himself set up through turns 1 and 2. He kind of uses that the first lap through 3 and 4 to get alongside the car in front, runs alongside them in turns 1 and 2, and then uses that next lap to just use the full-on slider to get in front. And it is not quite working for Mike Alexander, though.
This time, Brett will go to the top side. Alexander still working, trying to work that bottom side in here. We'll keep a close eye on that, but there's battles throughout the field. Casey Bietti, another driver that has been working the bottom side of the Speedway. He's picked up 6 spots, and it's been hard to pass for a lot of these drivers, but Brett Hahn and Casey Bietti dive back down to the bottom side, and he will be able to make that bottom work. Not able to clear up in front of his northeast buddy there of Rodney Hontoon just yet. Now he goes back to the top side. It's an all-northeast battle here, because there's Hontoon, there's Bietti, and there's Vernon Woodard all right here, stuck together.
And alongside them as well as our championship leader, Guillaume Fortin, just behind them in the 13 QC. He's trying to catch up to these guys in front. He's still sitting back in 11th after starting in 14th. He's made a few spots up, but hasn't been able to quite make the moves that a few other drivers have been able to pull off here tonight.
Not quite to the halfway point either. Mike Alexander to the bottom again. He thought about coming up, but that would have made contact with the 18 of A.J. Hamill. Brett Hahn definitely rolling smooth here tonight. He's now inside the top 5 as he's 4th, and, well, right there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, all locked together.
Now Brett Hahn trying to run that high side, trying to close off the 75 Mike Alexander, and it's going to work. Brett Hahn going to roll along the high side and go right by Alexander. He's going to move himself up into 3rd, so that is 13 places that Hahn has picked up since the start of this race.
I don't think he's done yet, because he goes straight back, dive bombing in his bomber back down to the bottom side. That'll be A.J. Hamill now. That'll be put onto the chopping block, and as we close in on halfway, there's a lot of racing left to do here tonight in sunny Irwindale, California, here at the Irwindale Speedway tonight for the Stand RC Speedway 100 for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series, presented by the Upstate Racing League. And the battles at the front of the field are hot and heavy.
Yeah, Brett Hahn looked like for a second he was going to get around A.J. Hamill there, but no, he's going to have to settle for being door-to-door. Hamill getting a good run through turns 1 and 2, getting himself a little bit further ahead of that 7-Eleven car. And here comes Hahn again all the way to the bottom, still not quite going to be clear of A.J. Hamill. A.J. is running some great lines on that top side and just carrying a ton of speed off of turns 3 and 4. And that is preventing Hahn from sliding up in front of him.
Hungry like a wolf here for A.J. Hamill. Had because of the pill draw, the invert, if you will. He's sort of at the pole position here tonight and having himself a good run here in the early portion of this one. Doesn't want to just give it away to the rookie. He's got a rookie in front of him and a rookie behind him right now, and, well, we'll see if he can hold them off.
This is almost looking more like a dirt race to me. We see these cars that are running the high side, and you see one guy that is daring to go low, where there's just not quite as much grip, but just shortening the length of the track and trying to slide up. So this almost feels like a paved dirt race to me.
This would be an awesome track here at the Irwindale Speedway if we were able to put some dirt on it. Obviously, Kelly, you know I'm a dirt fan. You run the Bartell Builders Big Block Series on Sunday night with the Upstate Racing League. I think this would put on one heck of a show if this had dirt.
I'll get the shovels.
Don't tempt me with a good time, but hey, tonight it's been a good time, and at the halfway point this time, it'll be Dalton Williamson. He is your top spot driver. He has led half this race here in car number 1 tonight. Started from the outside front row and was able to snag the top spot as the caution flag flew on lap number 1, and ever since then he's been able to hold off the 18 of A.J. Hamill and Mike Alexander. But the question is, will he be able to hold off the 7-11 of Brett Hahn, who's still trying to work over that 18 machine, just can't quite get there.
I'm still wondering if Brett Hahn is punishing his tires, taking this line lap after lap after lap, because there is no banking down towards where he's running all the way at the bottom on the apron. So he's got to be putting some pressure on that right front, especially through the middle of that corner.
It definitely takes patience to be able to run that bottom side of the speedway and be as quick. And You're right. I mean, how much is he punishing it, though? That's going to be the question that we're going to have to continue to watch here as the laps continue to click off, and it seems like he's not having quite the drive off anymore that he once did. Mike Alexander, you can see he was down on the bottom at one point, cooled the tires off, went right back to the top side, and now that 75 and is back to the outside and trying to take back that spot from Brett Hahn.
Yeah, he looks like the 75 of Alexander might be able to make a move on Brett Hahn and get roll past him if Hahn can't quite get the speed he was finding earlier coming off of turn number 4. And that's really seems to be the place where he's struggling. He's getting a good run through 1 and 2 and getting a good entry into 3, but just not quite getting the pace off of 4 anymore. He's not even getting in front of AJ Hamill anymore, when just a few laps ago he was threatening to completely close off the slider.
So right now there's Alexander getting a great run out of turn 2. Now Hahn go back down to the bottom. Alexander back to the top side through 3 and 4. They're going to meet in the middle, and yep, Hahn have the spot for the time being. Behind them, though, Casey Bietti is still continuing to make spots up, or trying to at least. He's in front of the 4, then he's behind the 4, then Vernon Woodard is right there also. Guillaume's still sitting there in that spot too. Casey Bietti now trying to start working the high side. Just ahead of them, Scott Austin and Justin McDuff. They're also locked in their own battle. So there are other battles scattered throughout the field here tonight. Nobody's just kind of locked into a position. Everybody's searching around here to see where that hot shoe spot can be.
Yeah, unlike a lot of tracks we've been to this season, there are a bunch of different lines you can run here at Irwindale. You don't have to just be locked all the way into the yellow line like we've seen at pretty much every other race we've been at this season. So it's interesting to see what lines drivers are using it at what points of the race, and we're seeing a few guys now trying to maybe go a little higher through the corners, but at the same time they've got to be careful because as we've been running through this race, they've been building up a lot of marbles on that outside lane.
Got to be mindful. Now Mike Alexander going to slip behind the 7-Eleven. Hahn going to try and slide up in front of that number 75, and he will do that. That time out of turn 4, going to pinch off the 75 and see if he can cool the tires and make another charge back towards the leaders. Dalton Williamson is your front runner, and take a look out in front of him. And not many cars out there. I do believe that is going to be... Is that the 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr.? That is. He's still out in front of the race leaders, about a half a straightaway, maybe just a little bit more ahead of Dalton Williamson. So the pace here tonight has been fast, and everybody's been able to keep this one. Oh! Car around number 39. Bill Martin has gone around along with Gary Eschen. The caution lights will come on for the second time here this evening. The Confusion Performance caution lights are on the Speedway. Bill Martin involved in something with Gary Eschen, as this is what the truck has found. Let's take a look back here. Eschen to the outside of the jump, man crazy. Times number 23. Bill Martin tried to come up. Eschen with the run, and Brian Hacker just absolutely nowhere to go. But Bill Martin thought he had a hole, tried to take it. Unfortunately, that hole was closing fast.
Yeah, Bill Martin trying to close off that gap, like you were saying, trying to finish off the slider, but Eschen had a full head of steam coming off of turn number 4, and watching that from maybe the onboard view, you see Eschen's got the lane, and then suddenly it just disappears as Bill Martin tries to go out on the high side.
So 3 cars involved in this one to bring out the caution flag here. That'll put a slow to this one as we were putting some laps in, that is for sure. So here tonight, 65 laps will be completed under this caution flag. There is the 2B of Brett Bartels, the driver of the 2B out of Spirit Lake. He will get the lucky dog, so he will go back onto the lead lap. That'll mean 26 drivers took the green flag tonight, and 26 drivers are on the lead lap. Bartels, I alluded to, got that brand new, I believe it was a GMC Sierra. Saw you have one of those turn 3 stickers on the back, so thanks Brett for, well, sending us a picture and also putting a sticker from the Turn 3 Racing Network on your brand new truck. Thing's shiny, Kelly. If you can't believe a brand new truck, it was shiny.
Well, they usually are, unless they've got a really bad detail department.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. At least Al Smith didn't detail the truck then.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. But we are going to, looks like we're getting our cars formed back up once again, and what this is going to do is shake things up a little bit. It's going to force Dalton Williamson to start to the inside along with Brett Hahn, but Williamson, as mentioned before, he is going to have that advantage of being able to fire when he wants. And we'll see if AJ Hamill's going to be able to respond, because on that first restart, he was not able to get a good run coming off the corner.
Come back into the Hanson Starter Shop restart zone here to be the number 1 of Dalton Williamson to the inside. The 18 of A.J. Hamill. Dalton Williamson going to fire, and A.J. Hamill going to spin the tires. Will come right down across the 7-Eleven. Here comes Mike Alexander to the outside.
3 wide through turns 1 and 2. Alexander getting forced to run right up to the wall, but A.J. Hamill going to hold it to the inside. Now here comes the 7-Eleven of Brett Hahn diving way to the bottom, and A.J. Hamill gets into 75. He's up and over.
That'll bring the caution lights on again as A.J. Hamill now goes spinning the number 6, Joe Schaefer Jr. A.J. Hamill looking like a turtle like Wayne McDuff used to look like, just legs up, spinning them.
Yeah, there was just nowhere for the 75 of Mike Alexander to go. A.J. Hamill looked like he was just understeering through the corner there, as that right front just did not respond when he wanted it to, and unfortunate for the 18, that's going to pretty much end his night.
Take a look back there. You see the two cars. They kind of get locked together also, and Mike Alexander drifted up into the wall, and the 18 of A.J. Hamill just sliding on his roof. Mike Alexander gave him a little shot to try and get him to flip back over. Not quite able to, so A.J. Hamill just drifting up just a little bit. Right on board here with the Xander Sign Group onboard camera. There you see them locked together, and we lost one of the cameras, huh? Knocked it right off the car.
Well, he did kind of end up sliding on his roof, so it would have been a really strong camera mount to be able to hold up to that, but that is going to really shake up the front of our field, because that's going to cost Mike Alexander as well. He's scored all the way back, I think, down in 6th now. So that is going to be Dalton Williamson, Brett Hahn, Matt Eddy, Casey Bietti, and Justin McDuff as our top 5.
Taking a look, A.J. Hamill is still down on pit road. Gary Eschen also has taken his car to pit road, so those two drivers getting work done. So 24 cars, 24 on the lead lap here tonight, still left at the Irwindale Speedway here tonight. It is the Stand RC Speedway night here in sunny California. Of course, the Stand RC Speedway, though, nowhere near California. It's in Gainesville, New York. Racing on Thursday nights, May through October. Bring your RC car out to the Stand RC Speedway. There are some test and tune nights that are scheduled in the spring, so even if you're not a, big RC racer, maybe take your car out there. Maybe you might become one, because Al Smith tells me it's addicting.
Definitely seems like a lot of fun, but we're going to have to get back to our race here as Dalton Williamson fires off turn number 4. He's going to get a good run down the front straightaway. Brett Hahn just barely holding off Matt Eddy, and Matt Eddy nearly got swallowed up by the field going to turn number 1.
So it'll be Williamson and Hahn first off of turn number 2, then Matt Eddy, Casey Bietti, Justin McDuff. One driver way down to the bottom side. That'll be Matthew Barkhouse in the Monster Energy Hoonigan looking number 15. That black machine darted down there like a rocket, and man, now he'll be side by side with Scott Austin.
We saw the 7-Eleven of Brett Hahn was able to make some moves while the field was all stacked up on the high side. Now we're trying to see if Matthew Barkhouse and now Guillaume Fortin as well, trying to see if he can go 3 wide now with the 20 and the 75, as they are still going to be battling side by side through turns 1 and 2.
3 wide racing. We haven't seen too much of that here tonight, but now the 13G down to the bottom side. He'll go down sideways for Guillaume. That's not going to help the tires. Let's see what kind of run, as he actually will be able to slide in front of Justin McDuff. McDuff then will slide to the high side, so that went from 3 wide to 2 wide. That could have got bad real quick.
And as that happened, Brett Hahn also pulled off pretty much the exact same move on Dalton Williamson. He's got himself up into the race lead. Now here comes Casey Bietti. He's trying to get in front of Matt Eddy for 3rd place. But that 88 of Matt Eddy, he is holding strong on the high side.
So new race leader with 25 laps to go, now 24 laps to go. And Brett Hahn, he's not done on the bottom side. He goes right back down there as he is the race leader.
I think he may have even clipped the grass slightly, maybe just trying to hook the edge of it just a little bit to help that car rotate. But that is definitely a dangerous game to be playing, especially in the lead. And you got to wonder, we've been saying how much tire has he got left in that 7-Eleven car, but at the moment it seems like the answer is enough.
Enough it is. Mike Alexander going to do a crossover move here So Alexander will go to the bottom of the 13G on Guillaume Fort and see if he can slide up. There is no real hole. And a little damage there on the right front of Alexander as R&R Kinsman auto salvage number 75. It's not going to really hurt him here tonight. The problem is he'll have to stay away from the outside wall because that car's sticking out like an open wheel modified. If he gets it up to the wall, it might just suck him in and around, and then his night's going to go from bad to even worse. Right now, he's still sitting right there into that 8th position.
Matt Eddy just caught the wall going into turn 4. That's going to cost him. Guillaume Fortin is going to get around, and now looks like the 20 of Justin McDuff closed the gap a little bit. McDuff getting a tag from the 15 of Barkhouse. He's going to somehow keep that car straight. A good save in the middle of the corner, and we've seen how loose these cars are, so for that car to just take that shot and keep going, that is tough.
19 laps to go as problems back here. A couple cars going around the 66. Stephen Rochford has gone around, and I believe that's Gary Eschen. Matt McLean also doing some celebratory donuts in the Best Colorful Creations number 88. So a couple drivers running around the 15th position, I do believe, just went around. You see everybody has gathered it up and got going. With 18 laps to go, though, that will bring out the Confusion Performance caution flag once again here tonight at the Irwindale Speedway. Let's take a look back here. Oh, the 66 was right in the middle of the track, and he got pummeled by the 88 of Matt McLean, and then everybody up the Speedway, nowhere to go. They all come together. There you see McLean going around. There you see the 66 of Rochford also. A couple other drivers coming through there, getting a little contact also. I believe that was the 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr.
Yeah, it seemed like it started in the entry into turn number 3. Both cars kind of trying to go for the same line there and sent them a little bit sideways, and then right as they recovered, they got into each other again, and that sent them both spinning, and looks like Matt McLean has pulled it down into the pits to get a little bit of damage repaired on that car. No tires, though, for him to switch to, so even with all the spinning and the sliding, he's going to have to keep on that set of rubber.
You know who did not want to see that caution flag? Brett Hahn. That car was pulling away. It was a little over a second back, or ahead of car number 1 of Dalton Williamson. Casey Bietti, though, he now will restart to the inside of row number 2. He's been another one of those drivers that have been able to make the bottom side work.
Yeah, we've seen a few of these guys that are up towards the front now make the bottom side work, so is one of them going to be able to make the bottom work against Brett Hahn? We'll have to see. Hahn going to be in control of the field for the first time next time around, so we'll have to see if he's going to have what he's going to be able to do coming off of turn number 4. And we've seen how hard it is to get these cars restarted. We saw AJ Hamill a little while ago when he tried to restart, just immediately spun up the tires.
AJ Hamill has not been able to return to the racetrack. Bartels, along with McLean, also not returning to the racetrack as of right now. We'll see if any of those drivers can get back out there. But we're ready to come back into the Hanson Starter Shop restart zone to get this one fired back off. It will only be 14 laps to go here when Brett Hahn says it's time to make a left turn.
Hahn getting a fantastic launch along with the 45 of Casey Bietti. Bietti going to have a nose ahead of the 1 of Dalton Williamson coming into turn number 1, but coming off of 2, Williamson getting a great run, just a little bit of contact there. That's going to send the 45 all the way down to the bottom. Now here comes Guillaume Fortin as well. He's trying to get to the outside of the 45.
Well, these guys have taken the gloves off, that is for sure, as there's now the 13G to the outside of Casey Bietti, and does not look like he'll be able to make the pass, so Guillaume going to have to settle for that spot. It's still Hahn, it's still Williamson, Bietti, Foran, and now McDuff. And there's McDuff. He'll bank it off the wall out of turn 4, but he keeps it going. Barkhouse is right there also. Matt Eddy's right there. The caution flag, though, for the 5th time here tonight, starting to be displayed because these drivers know it is getting towards the end of this one, and it is absolutely go time. Let's see the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen rolling away slowly from the incident.
Yeah, it looks like that started in turn number 4 with a little bit of contact with the 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr., so bad luck keeps finding that 6 car.
There's the contact, and then Rigsby was hard on the throttle out of 4. Going to turn the 2 car around after he was trying to gather it up. So no fault to Rigsby, just kind of wrong place, wrong time, as that 2 of Michael Trevarthen was trying to gather that one back up. Take a look here. Right on board, they were 3 wide through the corner, 3 wide off the corner, and there's the contact, and there's more contact, and unfortunately there goes the 31, and he actually went sliding down into 1-2 with a big power slide that he held onto it.
A little bit of damage to the tires, but there's no damage to the car for the most part, so he should be able to keep it going for the end of this race. Still not that many laps to go, especially as we tick off a few of them under caution. And Brett Hahn probably actually a little bit glad that we're getting a few more cautions here, because he can cool off his tires a little bit, get a breather, and kind of have less laps for other drivers to come after him. But I don't think there's even a driver that could go after that 7-Eleven car. He has been on fire throughout the whole night.
That thing has absolutely been a rocket ship. Brett came in this season as a rookie here with the Upstate Racing League, and he had very high expectations, and then he said he got humbled very quickly here. We know, every year the Upstate Racing League races through the winter months, so we only race one time a year, and it always brings out some of the best drivers on the iRacing.com platform that drive the super late models, and Brett was not expecting. He knew it was good. He didn't know it was that good. And here tonight, finally getting his moment to shine in sunny California.
Yeah, Brett Hahn so far this season only has 2 top 10s. He has never finished in the top 5, and now here he is leading the race pretty much with the best chance he could have to get his first win here this season.
It'll be 2 rookies duking it out on the front row here when we come back into the Hanson Starter Shop green flag zone, this time by, and we will drop the hammer once again. Hahn and Williamson, the front row. Then it's Bietti and Fortin. McDuff and Barkhouse make up row number 3, ready to go here. Whenever Brett Hahn says we fire, we will fire these off. A very slow start that time by Brett Hahn. Another great start.
And a bit better of a start for the 1 of Williamson that time around. Bietti's going to get tagged. He's going to go sideways. He's going to try to hang on to it, and he will keep his car in the right direction coming off of turn number 4. He's not even going to lose a position, but the cars are going to wreck behind him.
Cars are wrecking behind him down the back straightaway. Joshua Buckley going to do a somersault barrel roll now, as I believe Ellie Musgrave, Michael Trevarthen, Joshua Buckley, Mike Alexander, Gary Eschen all involved, as Dalton Williamson did not want to see that. He was down to the bottom, and he was trying to nose out the 7-Eleven of Brett Hahn. Scoring is saying it's still Brett Hahn as the race leader, though, as the caution flag came out with 6 laps to go, so we're getting at least one more go at this one. But boy, let's take a look back here and see what happened. Joe Schaefer Jr., Bill Martin may also be involved in this one. As let's see, there's a little smoke, there's a little contact, and Bill Martin got checked up on the outside. Ellie Musgrave just barely getting into the back of the number 39 of Bill Martin. Joe Schaefer Jr., his terrible night continues. He got finished off in that, and the Epic Media Machine looks like an open wheel modified now.
Yeah, a lot of cars involved in that, and a lot of them with some damage. I think I even saw a car upside down, so that'll bring our flip counter to 2 for the night.
I didn't know we were keeping track of flips like the Chili Bowl.
Yeah, we kind of are now.
Watching it back here from a couple different angles right on board here. This is the car number 23 of Gary Eschen, who was back out onto the Speedway trying to make his way, and you saw everybody. The C's just came together. They didn't part. They just came together, and there's nowhere. Mike Alexander down there. There's Joshua Buckley. And the Granny Hips Walkers and Kane's entry. He's definitely going to need a walker tomorrow at work. So I think Bob Higgins is tuning in. Bob, Josh is going to be a little hurt tomorrow at work.
And what nearly happened in that wreck was Dalton Williamson nearly got the luck of the draw again and nearly had the caution come out right as he got his nose ahead of that 7-Eleven. Unfortunate for him, it just didn't quite work out that way. He is still going to be scored in second, and now we almost essentially have a green-white checkered here as the cars are getting stacked up, but they do still have a green-white checkered in their hands. So if we do get a caution in the first lap after going green, we will stack them up and take another chance at it.
Good to know. I was just taking a peek, trying to figure that one out, and I couldn't do 1 + 1 to equal 2. Come back into the Hanson Sorter Shop restart zone, though. It'll be Brett Hahn. He gets another great start. He'll lunge out in front of the number 1 of Dalton Williamson. Casey Bietti going to get a better start that time. He'll go to the top side, but out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. It'll be Brett Hahn as the leader.
Williamson getting a good run off of turn number 2. Hahn going to go way to the bottom, try to defend that position. He's been able to have that pace on the bottom side. White flag in the air. He is going to be able to see if we can go one more time.
Final trip around the Speedway brought to us by Carpenter's Tax Service. And Brett Hahn trying to do it. Will he go to the bottom? He will. Dalton Williamson going to go up top. He's going to try and drive it in. Who will have the spot out of turn 4? It'll be Brett Hahn picking up the win here in sunny California. It'll be Hahn, it'll be Williamson, and Casey Bietti, the top 3 unofficial drivers here tonight. A scramble across the finish line. Guillaume Fortin, Justin McDuff, Matt Eddy, Brian Hacker, Scott Alston, Stephen Rochefort, and Rodney Hontoon rounding out the top 5. A great run here for the driver of the 7-Eleven, and Brett Hahn, the driver out of Michigan, picking up the most spots. Also here tonight, a 15-spot gain for Brett Hahn to pick up his first ever victory with the Upstate Racing League.
But there was an absolute drag race for third place between Bietti and Fortin. It was a photo finish. I'm looking at this timing and scoring here, and I'm seeing them with the exact same time down to the thousandth. So it is extremely close between those two drivers.
So Brett Hahn going to win, though, here tonight in sunny California. And as he will do his backwards victory lap here at Irwindale, we'll take the quick break, and we'll be back here with the post-race show here tonight after an exciting 100 laps at Irwindale.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here, race fans, to the Irwindale Speedway here tonight for the Stand RC Speedway 100 for the Best Qualifications Pro Series, presented by the Upstate Racing League. 100 laps officially in the books. We have the top 3 standing by here tonight, and let's kick things off with the driver that absolutely put on a burner here tonight. Let's go down trackside, talk to the driver of the 7-Eleven. Brett, a great race for you here tonight. You absolutely showed the field that you can definitely run the bottom here at Irwindale. How did you tiptoe around the bottom here tonight to pick up 15 spots and a victory?
Yeah, Roger, I tell you what, the old 7-Eleven machine was finally hooked up here. Had a lot of bad luck here in the series here, especially recently, looking back at Stafford with those 2 no yellows with it. And we were just struggling mid-season. I tell you what, we started off pretty good, but couldn't figure out my pedals. My pedals kept on messing up and got them halfway decent dialed in tonight. And yeah, just really being patient on that bottom. You had to absolutely hit that bottom side perfect to make anything work. And I'm surprised we didn't see more cars doing it. Me and Casey, kind of the bottom feeders of the night.
Yeah, you go bottom feeding. Is that something that you typically come here into Irwindale and see, or are you one of those guys that really ride up around the top, maybe throw a slider here and there?
Yeah, I've learned that the bottom side, if you can hit it right, it's really fast. Yeah, it might take some laps to get around someone, but I tell you what, it tends to save the stuff a little bit too. If you can hit it right and really back up your corner in 3 and 4 instead of diving it on the top side, let's say. So it's kind of backwards thinking, but if you can do it right, man, is it fast, and you get some halfway decent runs off the corner off of 4, even with that slow center speed.
So you talk about the slow center speed. Look at the schedule coming up here. I know it's the first season that you've been with this series, but we go here from sunny California. We're going to head a little bit west. We're going to go to the Bull Ring. 2 tracks that are completely different, but you talk about slow center speeds.
Yeah, I tell you what, I always enjoy some smaller tracks. Usually in the supers, I do better at the bigger tracks, but anytime a lot of skill comes in to play, especially like we see the bottom side here at Irwindale, I usually love to do that where it's really meticulous, and that was tonight. So hopefully we can keep this momentum rolling. Definitely a big confidence booster tonight to pick up the first win here with the Upstate crew.
Well, congratulations, Brett, on picking up the big victory. So for the first time ever, we will roll the carpet out. The red carpet is out. The microphone is yours. Is there anybody on the side of this? Well, 7-Eleven that you have to thank.
All righty. Of course, Roger, a lot to thank. First, you and Kelly in the booth. You guys do an awesome job. Of course, Al with Upstate here to get the series as well as it is. I tell you what, gotta give a big shout out to the competitors out here tonight. They were each and every week, it's incredible racing out here. Some of the best on the sim. Got to give a shout out to Casey. We were working together pretty good tonight and made that bottom side work. He came all the way to P3 as well. So got to give a shout out to him. Of course, on the card, Turn 3 Racing Network. Be sure to tune into them each and every night. They do some awesome broadcasts. So got to give a shout out to them. Of course, QuickTime Motorsports Media to put on a great paint. RHU Racing, Rogers Cars, and yeah, I think that's about it. Of course, my grandma watching. I think I got Kyle cheering me on in the chat, and yeah, all the other Brett the Jet fans out there. We finally got some redemption and parked it in victory lane. Woo!
Brett the Jet, he just flew by you, race fans. You hear how excited he is. Kelly, I'm speechless. I don't know what else to say. Brett's the winner.
Yeah, Brett is the winner, but I am now caught up with our second place finisher, another rookie, Dalton Williamson, now driver of the One Machine. And Dalton, you had your first opportunity to lead laps here in the Upstate Racing League, and what's it like looking in your mirror and seeing that entire field behind you?
It's definitely nerve-wracking, like Brett said. I think off what he said, man, the skill gap in here, you make one mistake, you're going from the front to the back pretty quick. So tonight, I just got a right front too hot and got out-drove, so definitely going to go back to the drawing board and be better next week.
Well, next week we will be going to the Bull Ring, and what are you kind of maybe expecting from that race, from both yourself and the race entirely?
I don't know. That track's very different depending on the temperature. Sometimes you save, sometimes you can go balls to the wall. It really just debates on what the track's going to be like.
Well, you're still fighting for that Rookie of the Year award, and how are you feeling about your chances to take that trophy home?
Just like I say, every time I got an interview, I just come in here, run, and try to stay out of trouble and see where the points fall.
All right, Dalton, you had a good run here tonight. Before we let you go, though, who would you like to thank for your second place finish?
Roger and all of Turn 3 for all the broadcast work you guys do. Al and all the admin and Upstate Racing for allowing me to come out here and run. Hell of a league, a lot of fun. Good run to Brett and Casey tonight. That was a lot of fun up front. As far as sponsors, Platinum RV Services, Rev Esports, Nitro Racing, Kenny Zeem Setup Shop, and the family for watching tonight. And other than that, not too much.
All right, thank you so much for coming and talking to us, Dalton. Hopefully we'll hear from you again next week. That was Dalton Williamson, drives fast and interviews fast as well. As we'll see, maybe next week he'll be able to drive fast once again, and we'll see another quick interview, but they're going to pass it back along to Roger, who I believe is caught up with the driver of the 45 car.
Yeah, Casey Bietti standing by over here. Another one of those bottom feeders here tonight. Casey, is that something you worked on, or is that something, you saw the 7-Eleven fly by you and then, might as well catch on to the coattails?
Definitely something I did not work on, and I was really trying to get to the top at the beginning, and then I see Brett roll past me and start clicking off 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars, and I'm like, like, I gotta try it. I mean, I weren't going nowhere on the top, so I had to try something on the bottom, and I started clicking off cars. I think I got to ninth there on the bottom, and my car faded a lot earlier than Brett's did, and got lucky with those couple cautions at the end and was able to pick up more spots there.
Yeah, you picked up 12 spots here tonight. Is this a track that you normally circle when you see it come onto the schedules and think that, well, that's one of those tracks that I'll run towards the front?
Yeah, definitely. This is one of my favorite tracks here on the sim, and I definitely thought I'd end up at the front, but I wasn't sure because usually this place is pretty single filed out on the top, and was really, really happy when I saw the bottom start to roll and not many people down there.
Well, you did good here tonight. Obviously, you finished third. That'll be your second top 5 of the season. The cars had a lot of speed, just unfortunately not a lot of luck.
Oh no, we've had absolutely horrible luck this year. Like week 1 at Iowa, we had a speeding on the pits. Week 2, we had a mechanical failure in qualifying and was able to drive to the front there, and then just a couple more bad lucks at the other track. And hopefully we can get a couple more top 5s here. Hopefully another top 3 before the end of the season.
Well, we hope to talk to you again soon. Before we let you go and celebrate this one and talk with the boys, who do you got to thank? Who's on the core panels of car number 45?
First, I got to thank you and Kelly for broadcasting tonight, and Turn 3 for putting this on, and Al and all his guys for giving us such a good league. And big shout out to Ryan Kuhn and RKM Setup Shop. They definitely helped me improve on the sim a lot. And then obviously Creative Counters, Covenant Carpentry, Burke Lawn, and everybody for coming out and watching.
There you hear it from car number 45. That's Casey Bietti. He'll pick up 12 spots to finish P number 3 here tonight. So 2 of the top 3 drivers tonight picking up double digits. Of course, Brett Hahn is our winner here tonight. He was able to pick up 15 spots en route to his first career victory here with the Upstate Racing League. But Kelly, another great one here at Irwindale. The sunny California track always seems to, well, shine bright.
Yeah, this track always puts on a good race here in the Upstate Racing League year after year, and this race tonight was no different. We saw a ton of different drivers take a ton of different lines, and it ended up just being an absolute brawl to the finish. Like you said, we had third place essentially tie for it. Williamson nearly made a move on the last couple laps around Brett Hahn, and it was just some great driving from everyone.
So with Brett Hahn picking up the victory, Dalton Williamson in second, Casey Bietti third. Unofficially, it was Guillaume Fortin in fourth, and Justin McDuff rounding out the top 5. That's going to about do it, though, here from the Irwindale Speedway. So for everybody with the Upstate Racing League, the Stan RC Speedway, Best Colorful Creations, and the rest of our supporting sponsors here, we thank you tonight for tuning in here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And until we see you next time, race fans, everybody stay safe, and we'll see you in Turn 3.